Once, in a valley so quiet that even the wind walked slowly, there lived a child named Elia. Elia was small, curious, and full of dreams. Dreams that came in the form of strange questions like, where does the sun go when it sleeps? Or, can shadows miss the people they follow? She lived with her grandfather, an old man with silver eyebrows and a voice like warm tea, in a cottage tucked between two hills. The world outside their window was always in motion. Trees swaying like they whispered secrets, foxes darting across the grass, and the stars. Oh, the stars danced in ways Ilya never quite understood. Each night, after supper, Ilya would sit by the fire wrapped in a blanket that smelled like cedarwood and rain. Her grandfather would pull out a small book, not filled with words, but with stars. Hand-drawn, scribbled with charcoal, each one labeled with a name. "Why do you name them?" she asked one evening. "Because the stars forget," he replied gently, "and someone must remember them." Ilya learned that her grandfather was a moonkeeper, not in the usual sense. He didn't hold the moon in a box or carry it in his pocket. But he watched over the sky at night, kept track of fading stars, and whispered to the ones that dimmed too soon. "When a star goes quiet, I go listening," he told her. "Sometimes they don't need to shine. They just need to be heard." Ilya didn't understand at first. How could stars talk? And why would they need someone to listen? But then one night, she heard it herself. The house had fallen silent. The fire had gone out. Her grandfather was asleep in his chair, book on his lap, glasses sliding down his nose. Outside, the sky was thick with mist and stars blinked only faintly through the clouds. Ilya crept to the window, pressed her palm to the cool glass, and listened. At first, only the sound of crickets, then a note, a single soft tone. Not from the earth, not from her mind, but from the sky. It wasn't music. It was more like a memory trying to become a sound. And just like that, Ilya knew. There was a star somewhere high above that had gone quiet. Not dead, not lost, just uncertain. So Ilya turned to her sleeping grandfather and whispered, "How do I help it?" He didn't open his eyes, but he murmured, "Go out, let it see you." So she did. She stepped barefoot into the cool grass, walked beyond the cottage, beyond the oak tree with the crooked limb, all the way to the ridge where the world felt open. She looked up, and it blinked. A tiny shimmer, softer than candlelight, barely there, but real. Ilya sat down and began to talk, not with poetry or wisdom, but with the voice of a child who cared. She told the star her name. She told it about the frog that lived in the bucket behind the house. She told it that sometimes she felt small, and sometimes she didn't like the dark either. And the star listened. It didn't speak back, not in words. But the clouds parted just a little more, and its light grew, faintly, delicately, but it grew. That night, Ilya became a moonkeeper too, not because she chose it, because she was chosen by the quietest star. Weeks passed and the star grew bolder. It pulsed more steadily now. It followed Ilya's footsteps at night. It dipped lower in the sky when she came out to sing. The moon, full and watchful, seemed to nod in approval. Her grandfather grew quieter, more tired. He still read, but the book shook in his hands now. One night, as he tucked a blanket around Ilya, he paused. "I think the stars will ask for you now," he whispered. Ilya's heart tightened. "But I don't know what to say to them." "You don't need to," he smiled. "You just need to be there and listen." One night, her grandfather didn't get up. The fire burned low. The house was very still. Elia sat beside him for a long time, her small hand curled in his, the sky wide and quiet above. Then she stood, took his star book, and walked outside. The star was there, not alone, dozens of them, flickering, faint, waiting. So she sat on the hilltop, the book in her lap, and opened it slowly. She didn't write names. She listened. She didn't speak much, but she smiled. And the stars, in their quiet way, glowed just a little brighter. Years passed. The cottage aged. Elia grew. The frogs came back in spring. The wind remembered how to hum. And the stars never forgot the Moonkeeper who listened. Because some stars don't need to shine. They just need someone to know they're there.